I'm back. Guess who's back? And I'm ready for spooky season. Do you like my outfit? I just thought, what better excuse to wear all the t-shirts I own with pumpkins on them than now?
Duh.
Excitement is high, as you can see. Hello, and welcome back to me screaming into the void. Today we're doing something a little different and a little longer. I will try and rapid fire my way through this because it's a list.
Really?
Are we surprised? No, we're not. And the list is long. Let me explain. This is my very first year doing Hooptober, the ultimate horror challenge that has been created on Letterboxd by Cinemonster. He has been doing it for 12 years. And if you partake in this challenge, then you are part of the Hall of Fame. Since we are rolling into spooky season, I thought this would be the perfect way to dive headfirst into horror history, cult classics, and weird gems I have been meaning to watch for a while. There are some movies that have either been on a list or in my brain or ghosting around because there is other things that I could be watching. And I thought, you know what? This year I will be watching 35 movies in a month. And we have got a couple that you will most probably recognize and some that maybe you never heard of. Classics that you will be shocked I haven't watched yet. I know. I'm aware, but I am only one person who's watching all these movies. And I think I have a pretty good and big repertoire of horror movies. What else you can expect this month? The Halloween special Tubi and a special video where I will be sharing my favorite movies to watch at Halloween or around Halloween season. Right at the end of the season or maybe even at the beginning of November, I will be sharing my thoughts on this challenge, how it went. As I mentioned before, Hooptober is an annual challenge on Letterboxd created by Cinemonster. The idea is to watch 31 horror movies in October that match a set of prompts. However, since not everyone can watch 31 movies in 31 days, Cinemonster extended the period of time that we can watch it. As of this video, I have started this challenge 2 weeks ago. If you want to catch up on the movies I watched and what my thoughts are in a single sentence, follow me on Letterboxd. My entire list is on there. I will also be linking it down below. The rules usually are the same but a little different. This year's rules involve different countries, decades, and subgenres, and out of those you make a list on Letterboxd and then share it with everyone. Mine is called Brains and Popcorn, also because one of the subgenres that we'll be watching are 5 zombie movies. I will be taking you through all the movies, what they're all about, and why I picked them. If you want to watch along, you will find the list from the oldest to the newest movie down below in the comments and where you can watch the movies. Or you can check out my list on Letterboxd where I have listed the movies in the order that I will watch them. All right. Let's get into the challenge rules. Must include one Mexican Central American director and has to include a Russian and a Canadian movie. The movies have to be from 9 different decades, including one from the 1940s that has been most popular at that time and one from 1932. There needs to be one movie from a black director featuring a black lead, 5 zombie movies, 3 cult conspiracy movies, and 2 post-apocalyptic ones. There has to be a movie where dreams are part of the plot, one where animals take revenge, and 1 silent movie, 4 movies that are based on novels. I cheated a bit. I think one of the movies that I have is based on a short story.
What the fuck is this? I don't know.
I'm sorry. At some point, I didn't see it anymore. 1 written by Ernesto Gastaldi and 1 Toby Hooper film because, the challenge is called Hooptober. The 3 extras that he mentioned were Burn Witch Burn, German Chainsaw Massacre, and Trick or Treat. Listen, I have not watched that movie yet. Yes, I know. Shame on me. But it's on my list. And of course, we will have to review each and every movie because it's Letterboxd. All right, Let's get into the movies. I will be mentioning them from oldest to newest just because it's easiest. The first movie that I'm going to mention is a silent movie, A Page of Madness. It's from 1926 and directed by Tinosuke Kinugasa. It's about a man who works as a janitor in an asylum and wants to rescue his wife from there, whose mind has been fractured and is blurring dream and reality. Since it's a Japanese old school horror movie, I thought this would be right up my alley. Next movie is The Mummy from 1932, directed by Karl Freund and starring none other than the wonderful Boris Karloff. The plot is that an ancient priest is resurrected and stalks Egypt in search of his lost love's reincarnation. I should have watched this movie a long time ago, but I didn't. I watched the Frankenstein movies. This one just never inspired me. It's time to fix that and finally add this to my ancient movies I have watched list. Next one, Wolfman, 1941 by George Wagner, starring Lon Chaney Jr. It's about a man who returns home only to be bitten by a werewolf, sealing his cursed fate. It's a universal monster classic I skipped and I regret skipping. The next movie I want to watch is The Vampire and the Ballerina from 1960s, directed by Renato Polselli. It's written by Ernesto Gastaldi. It's about a troupe of dancers that encounters vampires in a remote mansion. It sounds like pure 60s Italo-goth fun, and I've been meaning to dive into more gothic movies for a while because I tend to ignore them. As you might have noticed, my taste in movies is a little more in your face. Next movie, V, 1967, directed by Konstantin Ershov and Georgy Kropotkin. It's a Russian horror movie. It's about a seminary student who must guard a witch's corpse for 3 nights. It has practically everything I love. It's Slavic, it's goth, it's witchy. The Wicker Man, 1973, directed by Robin Hardy, starring Edward Woodward and Christopher Lee. I know, I should have watched this movie. I watched the other one with Nicolas Cage because Nicolas Cage, the best, not the best. Bruh. And as most of you will know, I can literally feel you judging me right now. It's about a policeman who investigates a missing girl on a pagan island. It's an essential folk horror movie that I should have watched because I do love folk horror. Next movie, The Amusement Park, directed by George Romero from 1975. It's about an elderly man's trip to an amusement park that becomes a surreal nightmare about aging and society. Fun fact, this movie, I don't know why, but the Lutheran Church thought it was a good idea to give money to Romero to make, is it a PSA movie? To make like the Don't Take Drugs movies, same thing, but with Don't Abuse Elders. And it has been dug up, I think, in 2019, and I've been meaning to watch it for a while. I heard it's a trip. Next movie, Rabid, 1977 by David Cronenberg. I think I watched parts of this movie when I was a kid. It completely traumatized me, just like The Fly did. So now I'm ready to face the movie and finally watch it in full. The plot is after an experimental surgery, a woman develops a thirst for blood and spreads a plague. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I don't really specifically like Cronenberg, but I do know that I need to watch his movies because a lot of other horror movies have been inspired by him, and it's a blind spot I need to fill. I did watch the remake by the Soska sisters. I know I watch a lot of remakes. You will see a lot of movies on this list have been remade. Don't look at me like that. Next movie, The Howling, 1981, directed by Joe Dante, starring Dee Wallace. Yes, it's a novel adaptation. No, I did not watch this movie. Yes, I know I should have. I like werewolves, and I'm always mad that the newer werewolf movies are like, eh. It's about a traumatized reporter who retreats in a countryside clinic, but the locals have a secret. Bum, bum, bum. Next movie I did not watch yet. The Return of the Living Dead, 1985, directed by Dan O'Bannon, starring Clu Gallagher and James Karen. It's about a toxic gas that reanimates the dead in a punk rock zombie apocalypse. The undead are my favorite monsters. Anything that died and has been resurrected is right up my wheelhouse, and I heard it's a lot of fun. Next one, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 from 1986, directed by Toby Hoop. It's about the cannibal family that returns with a gorier, darker, and weirder sequel. I've seen the original, but I heard the sequel is very chaotic, so I'm really looking forward to that. Also, if I was able to watch the one from the franchise with Matthew McConaughey, have any of you watched that movie? Please let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts were. I mean, it is right up my alley because it's unhinged and complete madness. But even I was like, what is going on? Why is this happening? And who thought this was a good idea? Next movie. Ooh, Bad Taste, 1987. I'm sorry, I did not watch this movie. It's directed by Peter Jackson. The plot is aliens invade New Zealand to harvest humans for intergalactic fast food. It's early Peter Jackson madness, and I can't wait to watch it. Next one. Please don't hate me. They Live, 1988, directed by John Carpenter. A drifter discovers sunglasses that reveal aliens controlling humanity. It's got aliens, it is fun, and it's a Carpenter classic that I should have watched. I agree, yes. In my excuse, I did watch other classics that aren't on this list now. My excuse is there is too many horror movies to watch and not enough time. This whole list is just me cringing at my own lack of horror history that I'm trying to fill the void of. Next movie, Frankenhooker, 1990, directed by Frank Henenlotter. A man resurrects his fiancée by using sex workers with very chaotic results. It looks sleazy, it's got weird horror comedy, and I have put off this movie for way too long. Next movie, Kronos, 1992. I have watched most of Guillermo del Toro movies, not watched this one. It's about an antique dealer who discovers a device granting eternal life at a price. The Ring, 1998, directed by Hideo Nakata. A cursed videotape dooms its viewer to die in 7 days. We know the plot. I don't need to say more. Dark Water, 2002, also directed by Hideo Nakata. It's about a mother and a daughter who are haunted by a spirit in their new apartment. Another J-horror classic I've been putting off for a while. Next movie, Undead, 2003, directed by Michael and Peter Spierig. It's a zombie movie, it's from Australia, and it's a post-apocalyptic movie. The plot is a meteorite triggers a zombie outbreak in a small fishing town. Aussie zombie chaos. I'm in. That's all I need. Next movie is a rewatch. I haven't watched this movie in a while, and I'm super excited that I will watch this movie again. I needed in between the movies a couple of breathers because I feel like otherwise I will be too overwhelmed. Black Sheep, 2006, directed by Jonathan King. Genetically engineered sheep become bloodthirsty monsters. Next movie, also a rewatch, Sunshine, 2007, from Danny Boyle, starring Cillian Murphy and Rose Byrne. It's about astronauts. Why do I keep saying astronauts? Astronauts who try to reignite a dying sun but face sabotage and madness. After 28 years later, I just realized I need more Danny Boyle in my life. Next movie, Dance of the Dead, 2008, directed by Greg Bishop. It's about high school students who battle zombies at prom night. I don't need more of an excuse than this. Into the Grizzly Maze from 2015, directed by David Hackle. Yes, I know, this movie doesn't inspire me a lot. It's starring James Marsden and it has grizzly bears. And it's about these two estranged brothers that face a bloodthirsty bear in the Alaskan wilderness. Next movie, Dead Ant, 2017, directed by Ron Carlson, starring Sean Astin and Tom Arnold. It's a glam metal band that runs into killer ants in a desert. I do not know why I did not watch it yet. It's an absurd horror comedy and I must watch it. Next movie is a rewatch, The Ritual from 2017, directed by David Bruckner. The plot is friends hiking in Sweden stumble upon something pagan in the woods. I've watched this movie before. I kind of found it meh, but I have read again and again that people really like this movie. And since it's been a while that I've watched it, I feel like it's time for a rewatch. Next movie, The Domestics, 2018, directed by Mike Nelson, starring Kate Bosworth and Tyler Hoechlin. A couple crosses gang-ruled wastelands after society collapses. I saw the poster and I thought, you know what? Why not? It's an overlooked dystopian horror movie. Next movie, La Llorona, 2019. This movie has been on my list for a while. It's directed by Jairo Bustamante and it's from Guatemala. A dictator faces supernatural justice as La Llorona haunts his family. Love a haunting, love political horror, and I like when myth and history are blended together. Hashtag Alive from 2020, directed by Cho Il-hyung, starring Yo Ah-hin. It's about a gamer who fights to survive a zombie outbreak while trapped in his apartment. I missed it on Netflix when it first dropped, but I've always wanted to circle back to watch it, and now I will. Night Siren, 2022, directed by Teresa Nvotova. It's from Slovakia, Czech Republic. It's a woman who returns to her village and uncovers whispers of witchcraft. It's a recent folk horror tick. It's a Slavic movie tick. I heard intriguing things about it. Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead from 2023, directed by Yusuke Ishida. It's a zombie movie and it's from Japan. It's about a burnt out worker who embraces a zombie apocalypse as his chance to finally live. Same. And that's why I chose this movie to watch. The amount of times that people have heard me say, listen, zombie apocalypse, am I right? Let's do this. Also, I would be the first one to die.
You don't say.
Then we have Sinners, 2025, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan. It's about twin brothers Smoke and Shaq who return to 1930s Mississippi to open a juke joint, only to have their night of community and music disrupted by a brutal group of vampires. I have watched this movie before. I want to rewatch it just because I feel like I've missed a couple of details that I am very excited to catch on a second watch. Next movie, The Wizard of Oz, 1939, directed by Victor Fleming. Starring Judy Garland and Margaret Hamilton. It's literally a prompt from the Hooptober rules, must watch. And I am excited. Everyone knows the story. Dorothy gets swept up in Oz, battles witches, finds strange friends, and follows the yellow brick road. I'm excited to rewatch this movie because a lot of horror movies reference The Wizard of Oz, so it's a good refresher. The extras that were picked for us and we can watch if we have the time to. The first one is Night of the Eagle from 1962, directed by Sidney Hayers. It's about a skeptical professor who discovers his wife has been practicing witchcraft. The second one is German Chainsaw Massacre from 1990, directed by Christoph Schlingensief. And it's about the day when the Berlin Wall falls. East Germans cross the border and are slaughtered by a family of cannibal butchers. Again, should be right up my wheelhouse. And it's just 50 minutes long, so I'm excited for this one. And the last one that has been on my to-do for ages is Trick or Treat from 1986, directed by Charles Martin, about a teenage metalhead who resurrects his rock idol through a record, but the spirit isn't exactly friendly. I mean, Deathgasm must have been inspired by this one, right? Yeah, I can hear you say duh, okay? So that was my full Hooptober list for 2025. It's 35 movies spanning 9 decades, 6 countries, zombies, witches, cults, killer animals, and everything in between. It's going to be a crazy ride. You can join me in watching them and follow me on Letterboxd to check out which movies I have watched when. I am surely just going to be in my little cave of wonder watching horror movies on my TV. Let me know down in the comments below which movies you're most mad at me about for not having watched. And hit the subscribe button if you want to have some fun in October. This was me screaming into the void, and I'll catch you floating out there next time. Bye!